What's going on, gamers? Hopefully everyone's day is going well. We just got another PSSR 2 game added to the list. But this video is not only just about that, but how since PSSR 2 dropped and prior to it, how the impact has given the Pro more life, more value, and has made it actually exciting. Whereas before that, the only game that made it look like it standed out big time was Ghost of Yotei because they did such an excellent job with that. And then like we saw like the first visual showcase of what it was definitely capable of outside of the PlayStation world with Resident Evil Requiem. Now we got another game added to the list called Directive 8020, which is kind of like a survival horror game, similar to Dead Space in certain ways, made by Supermassive Games. I like their games because I've loved Until Dawn or whatever. So yeah, the interesting thing about this is how much more improvements the PS5 Pro PSSR 2 implementation makes this game. Because Sony loves those cinematic driven experiences, and that fits into the PlayStation world big time. It just says enhance your sci-fi horror journey in Director 8020 with PS5 Pro enhancements, sharp PSSR visuals, dynamic shadows, realistic ray traced lighting. That's already getting much better with PSSR 2, as we see. Where there are some people that are surprised, oh, another game, you know what I mean, Crimson Desert, that they were able to get ray tracing high on balance and get ultra on quality. We had that spreadsheet that released too, and people were looking at it saying, man, hold up. So it's able to do that depending on how good you optimize your games, right? And how good your engine is. And that game is only going to get better and more optimized over time. Like when I think about Crimson Desert, I think about a game like that being better 3 months down the line. And when I come back 5, 6 months, it's even better. But getting back to Director 8020, we have full details right here. And then we got some comments down here too, a little bit. Sony just launched this not too long ago. It says right here, elevate your mission in Directive 8020 with PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements. And we'll talk about some other stuff here in a second with PSSR. Where it says every decision matters, heightened tension comes to life through ray tracing, PSSR, and more. From the very beginning, Directive 8020 was built around cinematic storytelling, player choice, and atmosphere you can feel on board. The deadly mission to Tau Ceti F, haunted by an alien organism capable of mimicking its prey, the crew of the Cassiopeia must outwit their pursuers to make it alive. Sharper visuals powered by PSSR or PSSR2. They call it the upgraded PSSR, but you get it right here. One of the most notable enhancements comes from PlayStation's PSSR, Sony's AI-driven upscaling technology. PSSR intelligently enhances image detail and clarity frame by frame, allowing environments, models, and subtle environmental storytelling to appear crisp and well-defined. The metallic corridors of the Cassiopeia, the frost forming across a freezing medical lab, the distortion in a reflective visor, all of these details benefit from the added sharpness. Discover cinematic fidelity with the PS5 Pro. As you see, they're pretty much showing you that. Subtle facial animations improved, character performances, environmental details all contribute to immersion, which you want when you're playing survival horror games. When you're trying to decide who to trust, especially when two identical faces are staring back at you, those visual nuances matter. Then you got facial fears with advanced ray tracing. Lighting is one of the most powerful storytelling tools in horror. With advanced ray tracing, not just ray tracing, light behaves more realistically, bouncing naturally through corridors, reflecting off metallic surfaces and casting shadows that feel grounded in physical space. Emergency strobes flare against bulkheads. Firelight flickers dynamically across the character's face, as we're seeing right there. Ice refracts light in a way that feels cold and unforgiving. Realistic lighting heightens tension in every corridor. You'll never quite sure what's hiding beyond the glow. And then you got dynamic shadows reveal and conceal the threat. Smooth performance where every decision counts. So we're saying that they're saying a smoother performance. And I remember, like, you go back to Twitter and look for certain things, people were saying that, oh, it's only just an image improvement, right? It's like, no. I was reading a spreadsheet that said that it can give tiny FPS improvements, PSSR. So seeing that is actually impressive because, like I said, if we go back before PSSR 2 drops, you would have never thought that jump would have been that huge. But now you knew the potential that was there the whole time when it is revealed to you. You see what I mean? And this is another game that's being added in. Sony is kind of keeping the ball going because they're already saying, here's another game that's about to get it, right? We know Pragmata is coming out in April. Pragmata is going to be getting it. Soros is going to be getting it. They just announced some stuff for Soros. So they're already announcing multiple games and giving you ideas about how the improvements are there with PSSR2. And we're not going to sit here and be hoodwinked because we already saw what other games were capable of doing. So it's not something that's made up here. And that's another thing about this video that's, important that I think I should be talking about is, like I said, the value of the PlayStation 5 Pro now for $750. PSSR 2 has shown that now it is worth it because now you know what type of visual clarity and what type of performance increase, what type of ray tracing enhancements you can get compared to what it will cost you if you wanted to build a PC to get that equivalency. And you would need a 4K monitor, obviously, if you wanted to upscale to 4K, because it's the thing about consoles, they do that. Whereas like PC, you change around settings differently. Could you get it to match certain images? But it's not the point, though. The point is that 4K monitors are definitely more expensive than 4K TVs. So like no matter what you do when it comes to price point value performance, it's going to be hard to match that if you want all the same things. And it's not an argument. It's just, no, dude, that's literally just how it works. So like going down here, like I said, performance isn't just about numbers on a spec sheet. It's about emotional timing. Directive 80/20 is built around split-second decisions that permanently shape your story. I remember when Mark Sonny was talking about the microsecond improvements. When Anders is freezing in a falling medical lab and Mitchell is trapped in an inferno elsewhere on the ship, you don't have time to deliberate forever. Your instinct takes over. Or when you're faced with two identical versions of the same crew, both claiming to be real, who do you trust? Smooth, consistent performance ensures these moments land exactly as intended. Inputs feel immediate. Camera movement remains fluid and have that low latency. Cinematic transitions hold their impact. The tension builds naturally without technical friction pulling you out of it. In a choice driven narrative game, responsiveness is part of storytelling. 100%. Designed with the PlayStation 5 in mind, as you see right here. Beyond visual enhancements, you will also have full use of PlayStation 5's features, particularly when it comes to DualSense controller and stuff like that. Like I said, especially during a super massive legacy from Until Dawn and those don't move moments from the PlayStation 3. I know you guys remember that. So they're basically telling you, like, now when it comes to PlayStation, you have all these, like, unique benefits. That's the thing I like about it. The controller has a speaker. You got the touchpad. Now you got PSSR 2. Sony's building that identity for the PlayStation, and it definitely matters. So we get the idea when it comes to this game. Like, there's a lot of things here. Like, they're talking about dynamic shadows, add depth and movement across the scenes. Environmentals feel less impact. You see the shadows right there. And they're giving you the idea of how some of this stuff works and how smooth it is in these little clips right here. You can pay attention to it. It's very smooth. So this is another example of a PSSR 2 technical showcase. And I think when this game launches, we'll be able to see that, right? So I want you guys to let me know what you think about that. And are you happy with how they're continuing to keep the show going with PSSR 2, showing that, oh no, next month you got a couple games. In May, you already have another PSSR enhanced game, and there's probably going to be more. And I think that's going to happen a lot with a lot of third-party games mixed in with Sony's PlayStation-only exclusive games and games that also they may share on PC, like Marvel and stuff like that, and Kena, which are kind of like, different things. That Marvel is more like online, so that kind of makes sense, and that can fit well up in there. But when it comes to PS5 only, like Ghost of Yote, you know what I mean? Sorrows, you're not getting Demon Souls, Gran Turismo, and the next Gran Turismo that's going to be coming out as well. Wolverine, Intergalactic. Like, there's just a lot of games where it's like, okay, that's exclusive only. So, yeah, what's going to be the showcase for it? And then, GTA 6 getting its own, exclusive PSSR 2 setting that they've been working closely on for a while with Rockstar. I mean, they're deep into it right now, making sure that happens before it launches, and that's only going to be on PS5 Pro's console because the PC version is not going to be out for a while. So all those things definitely give Sony some exclusive power in a third-party sense and a first-party sense. It's not really an argument. It's just realizing that they're doing a good job of turning around things, like I said, and making sure their identity is strong in all these type of mindsets. Like when you think about the DualSense, how it used to be that Xbox had the advantage when it came to controllers, but the DualSense it took over because not only do you have that enhanced touchpad, that's an up, down, left, to right, and using it as a touchpad as well, like in games like Ghost of Yote and a lot of other games, you got the speaker enhancements, you got the haptics that they had to end up grabbing in. They had like share play. Sony does things to innovate, and they have been doing that for quite some time, and they keep on improving on it. The other ones that make console get the PSSR 2, FSR 4.1 enhancements, work with AMD, improve things together. So it's like, they're finding ways to do that. We already know Nintendo does stuff for console gaming a lot. in general. So I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment down below. As usual, no matter what platform you game on, as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. Peace out, guys. Later.